It's March, and Dean and Hilary Marks have both given up their jobs to begin converting this disused old church into a 5-bedroom family home. Rather ambitiously, Dean's taken on the roles of builder, project manager and architect.
It'd be nice to bring it back to life. If we didn't buy it, then what would happen to it? It'd probably end up a fallen wreck, and that piece of history has gone forever.
Dean and Hilary haven't secured their mortgage yet, but they take a gamble and start the build anyway, using their life savings of just £10,000. With money so tight, the whole family get involved, stripping out the old pews. Good God. Dean, why are you ripping them apart?
This is now going to become the worktops in the kitchen, and whatever else isn't used for the kitchen, they'll then be cut down for skirting boards and architraves.
While Hilary helps Dean, her son Jonathan does the tea run.
That's okay. Did you put sugar in?
Sadly, not all the pews can be recycled back into the church. The rest are ripped out and sold off as salvage to raise some extra cash. Because he's working with such a tight budget, Dean's also spent the last few years salvaging stuff from old buildings and car boot sales.
This panelling came out of a pub that's now been knocked down in Stourton, called the Stew Pony, and we intend to use it in the dining room as low-level panelling. It's all solid mahogany. The slates that we've actually got here are Welsh Riven slates. They came off a bungalow that was being demolished.
And if all this wasn't enough, Dean's got an entire container load of stuff outside.
Dean's filled it with various objects. Some of it's tat.
There's a unit there that was bought at auction, which we paid, I think it was £17 for it.
The furniture's okay, because it'll tie in with the whole church.
That was my chandelier that I managed to buy for £20 from a car boot sale.
There's some chandeliers that I really hate, that they will not be going in.
Got some other light fittings that came out of a job that were all scrap.
I think we'll have arguments over that, what goes up and what doesn't go in and whatever.
One of Dean and Hilary's biggest challenges will be the restoration of the 12 listed stained glass windows.
That's been boarded up since 1894, that window. That's actually going to be the landing window at the top of the stairs.
At least it's not broken, so that's one good thing.
Downstairs, they haven't been so fortunate. Just 3 months ago, vandals broke in and smashed the chancel window. Wisely, Dean's brought in stained glass expert Nick Bayliss.
Well, the windows obviously sustained a fair amount of damage, both of the glass and the lead work. Some of it can be repaired in situ, but some of them, where you've got the bad damage, where the lead's really quite badly damaged, you'll have to take out the sections, repaint up new sections of glass and insert them into the lead. You'll get that looking really nice, right. Really grand. And there's so much dirt and grime on it at the moment. I think once you've got all that off, I think you'll be quite amazed how nice it'll look.
We're on a very tight budget with the job.
Yeah.
Me and my wife and the family would be looking to help clean.
I can show you what to do, say this is how to do it, and I don't mind that at all, you know, because the thing is, it's very, very time consuming.
With Nick's help, the windows will once again sparkle in majesty. Elsewhere, Dean's approach is altogether less sympathetic to the old building. The listed balcony must be kept intact, but having ripped out the old upstairs pews, Dean's now got permission to enclose it in a wall of concrete blocks. With some help, within a week, Dean's new floor plan is beginning to take shape.
Today, it stopped being a church, to be honest. I came in yesterday and the walls were about that high. And I've come in today and I've walked in and I thought, it's not like a church anymore. It feels like it's home now.
But there's a problem, a very big one. Although Dean's been working on the place for 6 weeks, the sale of the church hasn't gone through yet. You still haven't completed on the place, which means you don't own it.
Officially not.
I mean, it must terrify you that you don't own the thing that you're working on. You're putting all this money into it.
It doesn't, because I got every confidence in the people from the church.
But this is no different to somebody buying a house and before they've even exchanged or completed, starting work on it, spending tens of thousands of pounds on the place. before they own it.
I think on a standard domestic property, I think it would be very iffy and I wouldn't have done that. But considering that this was going from the church and I'd already had, well, 4.5 years involvement with them, I got no question whatsoever that it wouldn't go through.
But until it does, they don't own the place and there's no mortgage.
I don't sleep. I'll be tossing and turning and it's all going round in my head because we've worked so hard to get where we are now, and they can always turn around and say to us, no, stop the work, you can't do any more, put it back to the original state, and I would just be devastated.
It's all being held up by a complicated legal problem about rights of access, which could take months to resolve. So why start? Why charge ahead?
Because there was enough work to do on the property before we needed to draw down any mortgage or anything.
Yeah, albeit without you owning it. I think you're mad to start.
Some people may think so, but I think that you have to jump in and have a go. Life's a gamble. You take that risk.
To convert, do up a place like this is very brave. To convert it on a budget of 80 to 100,000 pounds, I mean, that is extremely ambitious. But to do it, to actually start work on the place before you even own it, I mean, that is foolhardy. Buying and doing up a church is not a straightforward process. And if this sale falls through, and it might, then all the work that Dean has done, everything here, all the money that he and Hilary have invested in this place so far, is gone. This project is loaded with uncertainty, but Dean keeps pushing on. He's now 2 months into the project, and the inside of the church now looks a little bit like an underground car park. So many of the features in this place have disappeared now, they've gone, and the last bit to go is this beautiful 200-year-old first floor gallery, the whole thing. But it is not being ripped out. Instead, it's going to be encased in masonry. This stays because it's got its very own listing. It's going to be entombed. The new first floor will sit on top of these walls. But the big drawback to this design is that it creates a dark, windowless room buried in the centre of the church where Dean's going to put his swimming pool. Incorporating the old balcony into the new house was always going to be a challenge, but I can't help thinking that an architect could have helped Dean find a better solution than this. You're creating some really wacky spaces in this building. I mean, this pool right in the middle, enclosed, it's like a sort of a almost subterranean, you know.
I like the layout that I came up with. It'll also help Jonathan.
Of course, yeah, but it's an adventurous thing to be doing. But the whole thing could be the most clever, brilliant solution as to how to make a home out of a big old box of a church like this. Or it could be a schizophrenic building. It could end up looking quite bizarre. But whatever I think about the dangers of Dean's plans, without him, there is a possibility this church might have been pulled down like so many old buildings around here. What powers Dean the man? What's his inspiration? What kind of keeps him going?
It's always been his passion to get this church done. Everybody says, oh no, you shouldn't do it, you shouldn't do it, and I think that is what makes him want to do it. It's like, I will do it, I'll prove my point.
Very stubborn then.
He's very stubborn, yeah.
It is going under. It's under here, look.
He's got a nickname, Rhino, which means he's thick-skinned and charges a lot. That just says it all with Dean.
But then where does your motivation come from? I mean, Jonathan's needs also kind of come into this, don't they? Because the pool is going to be
that'll be a major,
plus for him.
a major part for him.
Has he got involved much?
Like the other day, I went and picked them up from school. He said, are we going up the church? And I said, oh no, not tonight. And he went, well, can we? And I went, well, no, not tonight. And it was like, but if I'd said to him, we're going to the church tonight, it would have been, oh, no. So I suppose you have to catch him on a good day. If we catch him on a good day, he'll do anything for you.
One thing that terrifies me about this project is the scale of it, is the size of it. I mean, here you say you want to be in by the 18th of December.
At the end of the day, it's just got to be done.
You sound like him when you say that. It's got to be done.
Divorce courts, if not.
It's now 3 months into the project, and so far progress has been pretty good. Dean's drafted some mates in to help him fit the joists for the new first floor. And for the first time, the sheer size of the task that he set himself is beginning to sink in.
Wasn't quite anticipating finding all this rubbish under the floors. I mean, in that section there, I mean, there was 14, 15 inches of just solid compacted dust that we actually used a crowbar to break it up to start with.
Dean's not the only one battling 200 years of dirt. Nothing's happening.
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
Yep.
Absolutely no difference at all.
No.
So how long did it take, for example, to clean that little tiny patch there? You had a good go at that.
Just going over and over and over it for about 4 hours.
Well, how disheartening is that?
So, very disheartening.
So what's the solution here?
I think we're going to get Nick back and ask him.
Get him to do it, so
Yeah.
you are. The chancel window is so damaged, Nick's taking it away to restore.
I'm just going to lift it up now then.
But that still leaves 10 more for Hilary to do. Do you not feel that you've taken on too much with this?
No. I know what I want. And in life, you need to go for that. There's no good saying, I wish I'd have done that. Or, oh, I really think we should have had a go at that. Because you can never turn back the time on that. If you want to do something, then stand up, be counted, do it.
And the financing? Because you're having to borrow, weren't you?
Yeah, we're still waiting on that.
When do you run out of cash then?
We're coming very close now. But there's a lot of work that can be done on the jobs, on the site, without needing money.
Yeah, just labouring.
Just labouring, moving floors in the bell tower, things like that.
Without the mortgage money, Dean can't afford to pay for any more help. He's back to working slowly, doggedly, on his own.
I'm going to do the wiring myself, but it's going to be supervised by a friend of ours who's a qualified electrician as well. Once we've got our mortgage money, that's when things will move a lot better.
But he has to own this place first. You have to admire Dean's sheer determination. But he's already spent more than half of the family savings, and there's still so much to do.